Hello everyone, welcome back to the Screening Room. I'm Connor, and today I am going to be going over the movies that you need to watch in winter of 2020 and 2021. Now before I start, please be sure to subscribe and like this video for more content about everything related to film. Today I'm going to be going over 8 movies that are releasing during the winter of 2020 and 2021 that I recommend that you need to watch. Now the first movie that I'm going to be talking about in this video is The Prom. The Prom was just recently released, and I got the joy to watch it the other night, and it was very enjoyable and such a fun movie to watch overall. Prom tells the story of a girl who is refused to bring her girlfriend to her prom in her town in Indiana, and a group of 4 washed up theater actors come to the town to help her get the prom that she deserves. The cast is fantastic, with Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, Keegan-Michael Key, and newcomers such as Joe Ellen Pullman and Ariana DeBose doing fantastic jobs. Now, The Prom is based off of a very well-known recent Broadway play, and this movie is directed by Ryan Murphy, who is known mostly for Glee, American Horror Story, and most recently Ratched. And Ryan Murphy does a great job of bringing this Broadway musical to life and brings all of the joy and pizzazz, as they say in the movie, that a Broadway musical has, and it just feels like you're watching a musical on your couch. I definitely would recommend this one to everyone. Now, the next movie that I'm going to be talking about is Palm Springs. This is a comedy movie that is starring Andy Samberg, Kristen Milotti, and J.K. Simmons. Now, this is very much a comedy that follows the story of Groundhog Day with the time cycle, but this gives a whole refreshing take on the story, with Andy Samberg, who is our main star in this movie, being such a funny lead character that I haven't seen anything like in such a long time. Now, this one was originally released in July in the US, but has finally gotten a Canadian release by a distributor on Amazon Prime Video, which is coming out December 18th on Amazon Prime Video. So be sure to check that out when it drops. Now, on Christmas Day, there are 2 huge movies that are dropping, and the first movie that I'll be talking about in this video is Soul. This is the newest anime movie from Pixar, which explores the story of a jazz player whose soul is separated from his body, and he has to make his way back to his body in time for performance through a breathtaking journey. Now, this is getting rave reviews out of all the festivals, and many are calling it one of Pixar's best. And originally, this was slated for a theater release, but luckily, unfortunately, with theaters, got pushed to Disney Plus. So be sure to check that out on Christmas Day on Disney Plus. Now, the second movie that is going PVOD this Christmas is Wonder Woman 1984, the sequel to 2017's Wonder Woman. Now, 2017's Wonder Woman got really good reviews out of the gate, and this year's Wonder Woman 1984 is getting even better reviews, with many people praising Patty Jenkins' evolution of her style. Now, this movie has great performances from our 2 lead villains, who are Kristen Wiig and Pedro Pascal, and many people still praise Gal Gadot as being the great actress who can only bring Wonder Woman to life. After a handful of delays due to the COVID-19 pandemic and many other factors, Wonder Woman 1984 finally got a solidified release date in the US of December 25th in theaters and on their streaming service in the US, HBO Max. Originally in Canada, this movie was only going to be released on December 16th for the holiday season in theaters. But just recently, Warner struck a deal to put Wonder Woman 1984 onto PVOD in Canada on Christmas Day. So to be sure to check either that or Soul out when they both come out. Now, the next movie that I am going to be talking about is going to be released early in 2021, and that is Promising Young Woman. This is starring Carey Mulligan in what many people are calling one of the best performances of the year. Now, this movie debuted at the Sundance Festival in January and had a release date for April, but due to COVID and all, it got delayed, so it was just getting released around this time. But the movie has only gained popularity and momentum since then, and that proves it has a lot of staying power and is a must-watch and should be on a lookout for during award season. Now, the next movie that I'm going to be talking about is Sound of Metal. Now, this movie is about a drummer who is losing his hearing and has to deal with the fallouts from this discovery. Now, Riz Ahmed is playing the lead character in this movie, and he is giving what many people are calling a career-defining performance for him. And he is potentially a strong contender in the Best Actor category. As well, the technical aspects, such as the sound and the production, is being raved about all across the board. Our supporting actors, Olivia Cooke and Paul Rassi, are both getting very good reviews. The screenplay is getting, as well, great reviews. So this is one to definitely be on the lookout for when it drops sometime in early 2021 on Amazon Prime Video. The next movie I'm going to be talking about is Malcolm and Marie, which is starring Zendaya and John David Washington. Now, this sees Zendaya teaming up with her Euphoria writer and showrunner Sam Levinson. And this movie is very interesting because this was filmed in June of 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic with very strict protocols and was filmed over the course of 17 days with everyone in the cast and crew quarantining and getting COVID-19 tests. So this was very much a hot one for studios to purchase, but in the end, Netflix ended up purchasing the distribution rights. And the movie only contains Zendaya and John David Washington as the only actors. No one else. It is them secluded in a house as a married couple. And this movie is going to be releasing on February 5th, 2021. Now, the last movie I'm going to be talking about is Cherry. This movie is the follow-up to Avengers Endgame by the Russo brothers in their next directorial pick, and this is starring Tom Holland. The story is about an Iraq veteran who becomes addicted to opioids and is in financial need and has to rob banks to get money for his addiction. Now, that sounds like so much in the story, and you never know how this could go as a movie. But if the Russo brothers could handle so many different Avengers in Infinity War and Endgame, they could surely handle this movie. And they have both raved about Tom Holland's performance and said that he is worthy of an Academy Award nomination. Now, who knows if this is just them raving about him, but the first look pictures show Tom Holland really getting into this role. So, who knows what will happen. And this movie is being distributed by Apple TV Plus in their first major awards contender since the launch of their streaming service. And this movie is being released March 12th, 2021. So those are my picks for winter movies to watch in 2020 and 2021. Thank you very much for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more film-related content.